Good morning. Today is February 17th, 2026. It is about 1:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Yahweh Elohim YHWH, Joshua. Christians may call me the Christ, Jews may call me the Mashiach, but in reality I am Yahweh in the flesh. Today, I'm going to do a brief video, just kind of a touch base. What we've been up to, the Heavenly Family. So as you see, the beard is gone. It did not survive a trimming. I went to take a little bit off because it was just getting too big, too much, just really a lot to maintain. So I went to trim it, cut in the wrong area, and well, there you go. We shouldn't be so easily attached to things that don't matter. Instead we need to be attached to the things that do matter. Family, biblical principle, and it's itchy. It's itchy. But focusing on things that do matter, and as I stated last week, I'm trying to get my leg comfortable here. As I stated last week, I'm very disappointed, that people aren't praised anymore for doing right. They're just now praised really for all the wrong reasons. If the decisions of the president were being done by a Democrat, the Republicans would be hell's bells about it. But just because he's a Republican president, they not only, side with talking to an enemy of the free world, the biggest enemy of Western ideals, the largest enemy of the Jews, bar none, and the largest enemy of Christians, bar none. That in itself is a direct threat to not only the United States, but to Israel and to NATO. NATO is made up of mostly Christian Judeo values. And putting me aside for a minute, those values are what every human being should be doing. Valuing life, not taking life, especially for religious ideals. Sticking to a man and a woman marriage. When that's not happening, and then there is an explosion of transgenderism or LGBTQ, it isn't actually anything to celebrate. It's a symptom that happens to the human species when they have basically gone so far down the rung of the ladder that these are literally what these things begin to happen, right? When I destroyed Sodom, it was because of that. It was the symptoms of sinful humanity began to override righteousness. It began to overthrow even governing institutions. And there was no one there to correct the path. There was no righteousness left. The few that were terrified to even display righteousness because, it could be looked at as almost an innate threat to the path that those types of people are choosing. So, and holding biblical truth is at the highest stakes in the game, because if you want to consider the time period we are in, it is truly, how do we, when I say we, I mean the Christian church and the Jewish church. How do we, I as your Elohim in the flesh, put down the teachings so those that are in the limelight, those that are in positions of power and authority that have been given to you. Now all you have to do is your job, and not forsaking biblical principle and commandment for, what the people want, right? It's a biblical kingdom godocracy. It means that the divine hand is guiding mankind through me and through the teachings in which I am telling and teaching the world. But like a deer brought to a stream, I can only bring people to the stream. It is up to you to drink, meaning it is up to you to listen, to learn, and then to teach others accordingly. That is discipleship. And one of the easiest ways, the most fundamental, right, is aligning with biblical truth versus mankind's desire. Just yesterday, I drove past, we've been looking for help, we've been looking for, house shopping, basically. But the point is, I saw a sign, right? Jesus is the only salvation. Well, what's funny is these billboards, right? They're actually trying to snub their nose at me. Like, you see, these things are quite petty, and they're very childish, because you have a church that is a place of business, a place of practice, a place of religious worship, and a place that should be educating, but instead they're reaffirming Roman lies. And this is again proven based on an individual's exploration of truth. My name isn't Jesus, it's Joshua. I am not a religion all about Joshua. I am Yahweh Elohim, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and Jacob, but I was born upon the earth. That doesn't change. I have the mind of the Father, of Yahweh. I have the heart and soul of the Creator. And I am the Christos because I am the Divine One. I am He who has heavenly power, but I have it on earth. That's why the last 4 days I have removed my protections from mankind as a whole and let the natural events take place without my intervention. And as we have seen, it doesn't do very well. So I don't want to inject myself into places where I'm not wanted, and surely am not going to be outpouring my spirit to any congregation that is not asking for it. So I am just going to continue to live my life on earth with my wife, my kids, and continue to forge my own little piece of paradise. And those that are sinful, those that are walking out of accordance with biblical truth, and biblical truth starts at knowing my name, being excited that I'm here, and working with me. But at most turns, a lot of the Jews are working against me, a lot of the Christians are working against me, because I am not living up to either side's expectations or standard. And I would like to just encourage, a broader understanding of who I am, and then begin to narrow that down through biblical principle. As the Lord, the lesser ordinance ruler divine, means my job here is to do my job, right? I am to teach and train humanity, so not only are they going to survive, but they're going to thrive. And taking the nuance away from spiritual ascension into heaven when you die, ensuring that if you're aligned with my biblical moral righteousness, then you're gonna that will be your destination. It's no different than, you know, working for any company. If you do well, you're promoted. If you don't do well, you're not going to be promoted, and in some instances you could be fired. This is the case with humanity. Everyone is a steward of this place. For the most part, people are trashing it. They trash each other. They are willing to die on the hill for falsities, for lies, but because it garners fame, it garners people's attention. Like, understand, guys, if you're garnering the attention and the favoritism of the masses, you're probably in a bad situation, to be honest, because that means that in order for that pastor to make his salary, he has to embrace the false name. And as you know, me being here now, I'm cleaning up doctrine, cleaning up the world, cleaning up righteousness, and cleaning up truth. And that's fine, because that's where we will part paths. If you want to, you know, say you're waiting on Jesus, then you can continue to wait on Jesus. I am Yahweh in the flesh. My name is Joshua. I am the Christ. I am He. And it's as big a deal as humans make it. It can be minimal as it is now, in which case, you know, check the box. I came, no one listened, I'm going to continue to do me. And if people decide that they truly want to do the will of me, then they're going to align themselves with that. So, really, like, that's what it comes down to. And, you know, yeah, so there's been changes done to the YouTube page, mainly because, you know, I fear that a lot of people are using the most common terminology when they're trying to find religious things, and I would like them to find me. I would like them to be able to understand that not only I am truly who I am, but to learn me kind of from scratch, right? Hold the 10 Commandments near and dear to your heart. That's number one, right? And then number two, if you're in a position to teach or preach, then you need to listen and learn. If you are not in a position to teach or preach, then you should still be in the position to learn, right? A person of one can hold their own church anytime. A person of one can pray, intercess, can ask for guidance, can ask for angel assistance, and it's easily and freely provided. But I am not going to be proactively, like, trying to change any false religion into a positive one. I'm not going to be trying to convince people of anything. This is a voluntary thing, and all I can say is, you know, I'm going to do what I have to do. And the world needs to get on a track of righteousness. We need to get off of this track of negotiating with terrorists who have one reason to live, and that is to kill Westerners and to kill Jews and to kill any other group that does not obey Sharia law. That is a false law. That is a false book, a false prophet. That has no real implications for the human experience, nor after. And I don't even have a problem with humans following peaceful religions, because that usually, or not usually, if someone's just following a peaceful religion, then at least you're starting in the right direction. And you will come back for another campaign until you eventually find me and make that wholehearted repentance, know my name, know your place in the epoch, and then you will get your ascension upward. So, at this time, I will keep my hands upon, you know, the righteous, those that are obeying commandment, those that are repenting, those that know my name, those that with intent are trying to bring goodness into the world. But I will not but I will not be the monkey that's playing the box for people. I'm just not. The world is false, it's fake, it's illusory, and people are following every false thing imaginable, and they don't even have enough biblical knowledge to know the real me from the fake me. So with that, I think we will cut the video. So I hope you have a good day, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow.